Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game, and it's a preview of West Ham United against West Bromwich Albion, 8th versus 9th. Not a thing I thought I'd be saying a few weeks ago when West Ham were looking over their shoulder. If you're going on Saturday, stick around till the end because there's something I'm going to tell you about what's happening on Saturday before the game against West Brom. Jason, what's your thoughts on our opponents, West Brom?
I mean, to be honest, doing a comparison as I was doing some research for it, they're actually pretty similar to us, and that's why I'm not too surprised we're sort of in the kind of the same position as them league-wise. They're quite reliant on the target man up front with Solomon Rondon, but he seems to be like the sexy South American option. I think David Solomon must be kicking himself. He never managed to pull off a Sully special with him. And, a lot of drive midfield with pacey wingers, and yeah, pretty much just the Midlands version of us is the best way of describing him.
And making his debut tonight, we've got Ethan, aka Behzinga, with us. Ethan, what's your opinions on the Baggies?
I think they're quite possibly overachieving from the regular West Brom that we've had in the past seasons, which is it's worrying, but because they've had a better season so far than us, and we're only just getting back up the table. But I think it should be an interesting clash because I think we're quite matched in terms of how we're playing right now. But I'm not sure because if we have the injuries and stuff that we currently as apparently out at the moment, then it could be a tough one. But they are overachieving. They've got some good players in there now. Chadley was a great buyer, and Rondon's a beast up front. So yeah.
Jason, Matt Phillips, he's the guy that while we've mentioned Chadley and that, this guy's probably the sort of the not so fancy a name, so it kind of goes unnoticed a little bit. But he's got 8 assists so far in the league. Only Kevin De Bruyne has got more than him. Surprised at how well he's doing. Is he this season's like Mark Albrighton almost?
Yeah, he's really gone under the radar. But I mean, when every sort of attack seems to go through the wings onto Rondon, and with how decent he is in the air, and I think he probably takes their set piece as well, where West Brom are notoriously dangerous from. It's not too much of a surprise, but it is a bit of a surprise at how many he's got and just sticking under the radar. I'm guessing because he isn't quite that sexy name of De Bruyne and Aguero and whatnot. So, when I was doing my research, I sort of had to do a double take on that one.
West Brom have the lowest average percentage in the Premier League this season so far. We're just 37%. Ethan, is that sort of an indication of what to expect on Saturday against them?
Yeah, I mean, they play that classic. They hold on to games, really. And as you can see from their past few results, they got a drumming from Tottenham, which was 4-0. But then they grind out their results for 1-0s, 1-1s. So they get their points on the board no matter how they do it. But you know what you're going to expect against West Brom. So you just got to take it to them.
They've only scored 2 goals in their last 5 away games in the Premier League. However, their opponents did include Spurs, as Ethan said, there in Chelsea and Arsenal. So you can't be too much into that one. And you two have mentioned his name. I'm going to say this now. Rondon is actually the striker I would like to see us go after in the summer as our number 1 target. I think we need to be slightly realistic, and I think he's actually the perfect replacement for Andy Carroll in such that you don't have to change your system too much. Ethan, am I being mad, or is he the sort of striker West Ham should be targeting?
I think he embodies what we play to, and if you had a striker like that, as much as the whole Payet saga and stuff like that's gone, whatever, when you have a creative, even Lanzini, that puts balls in, puts service in, you need strikers that get the job done. They finish the goals no matter how. It's whipped in from the sides, it's through the middle. They get you goals. And Andy Carroll's just sort of come into form, but you can never rely on him. So if a man can stay fit and he's good in the air, plays to our style, works for me. He's a very good striker.
Yeah, as good as he might be, he's not scored in his last 9 games for West Brom. We all know what's going to happen now. And the game before that, the 10 games ago, if you like, he scored a hat-trick. So since his hat-trick, he's not scored. The man in the middle is Michael Oliver. He's coming for a lot of criticism recently while he dishes out red cards wrongly. We've had him once this season. We've got thumped 5-0 by Man City. And in the Premier League history, we've had him 10 times and we've only won twice. However, West Brom aren't much better. They've had him 21 times in the Premier League, only to win in 7, so a third compared to our 20%, slightly better. They've had him once this season when they smashed Swansea 3-1. West Ham time, boys. Jason, we're unbeaten in 7 Premier League home games against West Brom. We're in good form right now, though, Jason. Our last win, 3-1 against Southampton, do you think we should be sticking with the same 11?
I mean, no one really deserved to be dropped, to be honest. I'm just still a bit wary. You've always got to be wary of West Brom, especially from how they turned us over earlier this season as well. They have got it in the locker. Yeah, no, I don't. I think Kouyaté definitely should stay as a right back until hopefully if Byram can shake off any sort of knocks and niggles that he's got. Even if he can sort of feature on the bench, it'd be sort of a mini boost to then even switch up tactically to move Kouyaté into the midfield. But no, I don't think anyone really deserves to be dropped at this moment in time. But have this moment with the subs to sort of come on, make an impression, and stake a claim for the first team.
So we'll talk about injuries in a minute because Bilic obviously named 3 of them. But let's assume everyone's fit, Jason. You would not take Lanzini back into the starting 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Again, I don't think Snodgrass really did anything to really be dropped at the same time. And I think if there was any of the, or maybe even Faguli, but I know Lanzini's more predominantly left-sided. But I don't think Snodgrass did himself any harm with the debut he put in, so I can't really justify dropping him.
What about yourself, Ethan? If everyone's fit, would you do any changes?
So there's the classic phrase, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But I do still think there's time and space for Lanzini to make a start because he offers you that quick aspect of getting the ball in the feet and turning it around and going out of defence rather than putting it out wide and getting it into the box. So I still do think there's a space for him in the team. But as Jason said, I don't think Snodgrass deserves to be dropped out. But you can't exactly put him over on the right either. So I do think he's got space to come on as a sub. But if he's not broken, don't fix it. So I'd stick with the same start, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going the same way as well. The only thing that makes me change my mind is because, 1, I love Lanzini, and 2, we used that rule against Man City twice and got turned over both times. And sometimes you do need to change it. Sometimes, even though you've won the last one, you need to plan for your next game. And we're playing West Brom now, who are defensively hard to break down. In Southampton, we're very open, which suited us. And I do wonder if the team we played against Southampton will be good enough to break down that West Brom. That's why we might need Lanzini's magic, if you like. Well, let's talk about the injuries. Bilic said today that Cech, Creswell and Carroll haven't trained this week. Cech and Carroll obviously went off early against Southampton. But I seen a picture of Cech Kouyaté in training today, actually. So I think he is in training. I think Bilic is lying to us, or maybe it was his first training session today. But Ethan, does it worry you that if Creswell is out, what do we do at left back?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure. I think Masuaku is still out, right?
Yeah.
Am I correct? Yeah, that's a complete and it's a real spanner in the works there because realistically, it's happened for seasons and seasons and seasons now. We've never had a solid left back or right back cover. If something happens to our wing backs, that's it. They're gone. So I don't know what you could pull out. Is Nordveit back? Is he back for injury?
I don't think so. I mean, I'd imagine Sam Byron might get. I think Sam Byron played there. Was it a Europa League game he played there? Sam Byron played there, and he looked on it.
He did do a good job. I remember Reece Burke filled in for a game at left back or right back, wasn't it, before? And he did a good job there. But of course, he's out on loan wherever else he is. So we really do have no cover. We are limited to our options in the left back and right back scenario, but it's just an odd one.
Well, fingers crossed, Cech and Creswell are okay. But let's talk about Andy Carroll, because he's the one with the biggest concern, and also probably the biggest miss if they were all 3 were to miss it. And Jason, what would you do in the attacking options if Andy Carroll was out?
Oh man, if there's ever a question, I'd say it's definitely. I guess perhaps mix it to go back to a 4-2-3-1. And maybe have Antonio just start up top on his own, or maybe have him switch on the right flank with I don't even want to say Faguli. I don't really know. Just have him interchange with someone, just to sort of have, you know how Liverpool sort of do, where they sort of don't play with a striker and just sort of have this collective midfield like attacking formation. But I'm hoping he can definitely feature in some way. But if, like I say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I really hope we can stick with that 4-4-2. That's doing wonders for us.
I thought you would have said Caleri, because you're a big
I do like Caleri. I do like Caleri, but
you're a Caleri enthusiast. You're a Caleri enthusiast. Ethan, what would you do in the striking department? Because Andy Carroll, we're not only going to miss him. If he misses Saturday, do you risk him though, Ethan? If he's got a knock, do you risk him?
I'd say this season's the fittest Andy Carroll's looked in a West Ham top. So I think he could. I almost think. I sound silly for saying this. I almost think he could play through a knock as long as he wasn't too physical and he wasn't throwing himself about. But I suppose you don't get the best out of him if he's not throwing himself about. I think he could play through it, but then again, if he gets hit with a hard tackle, that's him out for God knows how many more months. So you never know. So it's a tough one to go with. But other than that, like Jason said, a midfield quartet or something like that would possibly work well because Antonio can play anywhere. He can put pressure on defences. He can get in behind. So yeah, I think you could stick him up front.
I would actually go Snodgrass up front with Antonio. Snodgrass would kind of play there with Hull in behind the striker, so I would just put them both up there and put Lanzini out on the left and stick with a 4-4-2. That sort of sense in terms of don't change it. That's just what I would go for. Fun fact: it's quiz time. We've never done a quiz time during a topical game, but I thought this looks like a quizzical opportunity here. It's you two are getting put on the line. Andy Carroll, Jason, while you were doing research, you better not have found this out. You must declare. You must be honest and declare this. Andy Carroll scores on Saturday. He will become only the 5th ever West Ham United player to score 30 Premier League goals for the club. Just 5 strikers. Sorry, not even strikers. 5 players will have scored 30 goals for us. Just 5. You can guess what the question's going to be. Who's the other 4? Jason, in your research, did you come across this?
I honestly didn't know.
Right, okay, who's your 4 players?
Is this just predominantly Premier League goals, or is it just like goals?
Premier League goals.
I want to say Marlon Hayward. I don't know why, but he's always the first name that comes to mind with me.
Right, another 3.
All right. I'm working on it. I'd say Tony Cottee, Frank McAvenny.
And another one?
I can't think off the top of my head. You put me on the spot.
Okay. Jason's name 3. Ethan?
I'm going to chuck in a vote for Harewood, definitely. I'd go with McAvenny as well. I want to say Zamora because he's a decent bloke, but I just don't think I remember him scoring 30 goals. So I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go in the same thing as Jason because I can't think. That's the scary.
John Hudson?
Right. My new card here. That's your score, boys.
0. See, that's the scary thought, though. The scary thought.
He wrote that before. He wrote that before he did the stream.
For you watching about, we do have a live chat going on, and JP Hammer's named 2 of them, and I think he's the only one that's actually named any. But we've got Paul Di Canio.
Yep.
Carlton Cole, Trevor Sinclair, and Mark Noble.
I was going to say Mark Noble.
Well, you should have said Mark Noble because that's the only 4 players who scored 30 Premier League goals for West Ham United. Here we did not scored in the Championship. These are getting muddled up with the Championship. Right.
That was a goal.
Right. Confidence. Are we confident? Ethan, are you confident? Don't give me your score. Are you confident?
I am, I am. Because other than the Man City drummings, we've looked in the best form we have this season. So, yeah, I'm confident.
But does West Brom not scare you, Ethan? West Brom are defensively solid. They're above us in the table.
Defensively solid, but I don't think we have issues going forward. I've never thought we have issues going forward. We can create chances. There's no shadow of a doubt we can create chances. It's our defence that has been an issue for the majority of the season. So I think we can create chances. I think we can get through the defence. It's just about finishing those chances. So, yeah, I'm confident.
Jason?
Pretty much. I think where we're so good in attack, they're so good in defence. And where they're so good in attack, we are quite defensively resolute as well. It's really like pound for pound, they really do match us, especially with the sort of plays they've got in the middle, they've got in the wings, whereas they've got Livermore, they've got Darren Fletcher, they've got Matt Phillips, they've got James Morrison. They just have all these, like, I'm confident it's going to be a draw, put it that way.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bit of a drab affair on Saturday, actually. I think it's going to be a case of 2 teams cancelling each other out, perhaps. I don't mind West Brom, but I'll tell you something. I hate Tony Pulis. There's one manager. Everyone hates Allardyce. It's this chav in a tracksuit with a cap on. I cannot stand him. Honestly, it makes my blood boil seeing him in the Premier League. There's nothing I want more than him to get relegated. I just cannot stand Tony Pulis at all. I just do not like him. There's one. People hate getting beat by certain teams. I hate getting beat by this geezer. I cannot stand his smug face when they were beating us 4-0 at the Hawthorns earlier. Camera kept going to him. He was there with his cap on, like, so please, West Ham, do not let me have to see Tony Pulis with that cap thing on. Right, before we do the predictions on Saturday before the game, Heineken are doing a thing called Hammerhead. There's a link below for you to check out. It's basically you come along with a mate. You get a ball, you get 3 goals, and you have to do as much headers between each other as you can. And there's like a Top Gear style rankings. And after there's 4 games, and after those 4 games, people get prizes. So there's signed goodies, you get to go on the London City pitch, you get Heineken VIP access. I don't know what that is. I have asked, but I don't actually know what it is. But loads of prizes. It's free. I think it's free to enter, but there's more in the link below, so give that a wee click. Right, Ethan.
Yep.
Prediction time. Your first time on here, you're going first. No sitting on the fence for that. Give us a score prediction.
Don't think there'll be many goals. I'm going to throw a 1-0 West Ham.
1-0 West Ham. Jason, well, you told us what you're
Oh
going for
yeah,
in
I'm
terms
still
of an
on the
outcome,
fence, but I'm going with a draw.
yeah, but you've got to give us a score, mate. You don't.
1-0, 1-0. 1-0.
I'm copying. Well, I'm not copying Ethan. I'm going for 1-0 as well. I just can't see there being much entertainment, unfortunately. I think we've got not international break. I keep calling it international break, but it's FA Cup week and we ain't there. So because we've got a gap now, I think that both managers would almost be happy to take a point and just go into that sort of period, sitting in 8th and 9th respectively, etc. So, but anyway, Ethan, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem, my pleasure. It was lovely
Jason,
to be
thank you
here.
very much for joining us.
Yeah, that's all right.
And last thing, if ourselves are helping West Ham Fan TV and other West Ham United blog sites create a new football club called Thames Ironworks Community FC. There's a link to that below as well, so come check that out. But we're looking for footballers. If you're half decent with a football, if you want to coach, if you want to manage, you want to be involved at all, click on the link and let us know, because we'll send out information soon. We're holding trials, etc. We're trying to get ex-players involved in the coaching side of it. We've got a badge. It's steeped with our history, the kits, the blue that the Thames Ironworks wore, and it's also got a claret and blue strip as well. So get involved. We need as much hands on deck as possible. But anyway, thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you come onto our forum. Make sure you check out our sponsors. Check out Ethan's channel. Jason doesn't have a channel. We'll be back on Saturday with our review for the game. Thank you for watching.